Okay, so this is a late one, but hello and welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport. I could have done this video yesterday, but I didn't have time because I have moved rooms. I'm no longer in my little storage cupboard. I have moved upstairs to an actual room that is actually warm and not freezing cold, which is nice. And it's a bit bare at the moment because I haven't finished sorting everything out. But eventually, I'll have some kind of set made up so it looks a bit better than it normally does, rather than having just loads of rubbish behind me. Actually, going to have some motorsport themed stuff behind me, which will be really nice. But for today, we are going to go back and take a look over the action from the last few weeks by looking at the Toyota Racing Series Formula 3 Asia and the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship. So sit back, relax, and let's begin.
Welcome to Frontrunner Motorsport.
Let's start with the Toyota Racing Series. Probably the biggest disappointment of the year so far because of what's happening in the world. Started really good with the New Zealand Grand Prix weekend. We had a field of the best New Zealand race drivers from all different formats, all different forms of motorsport, I should say. And Shane Van Gisbergen dominated, took the New Zealand Grand Prix. Really happy for him. But the rest of the season was only 2 other rounds with a few races in each. They had, I think, 7 cars at the second round and then 6 at the third. Wasn't great. Matthew Payne dominated it. He's probably a name worth remembering. Hopefully when Toyota Racing Series rolls around next year, it'll be more normal. But there'll be a space for Matthew Payne there as well because I think he really deserves it. He really was the class of the field after everyone else had left. But there's actually only 4 drivers who beat him all year because only Shane Van Gisbergen, Chris van der Drift and Audrey Heimgartner finished ahead of him in the New Zealand Grand Prix weekend. And only Billy Fraser finished ahead of him after that. So it's a pretty dominant championship for Matthew Payne in the end. Hopefully he gets a drive in Europe. Maybe something... I'm guessing another Formula 4 drive because I don't think he's that experienced. I think he's only won like Formula Ford or something. So hopefully he can get like a Formula 4 drive somewhere. As for everyone else, be interesting to see where they end up. Chris Vlock is probably not going to be doing much, but it was still interesting just because of the circumstances. This was not the best Toyota Racing Series campaign I've ever seen in my life. Moving on to the United Arab Emirates Formula 4 Championship. This was actually really entertaining. It's free on their YouTube channel. You should check it out if you can. Championship battle between Enzo Trulli, who is the son of former Formula 1 driver Jarno Trulli, and Delano Vantoff. It was down to the wire. Enzo Trulli won by 1 point, and Delano Vantoff had led the championship the whole way before that, so he was very unlucky. Other drivers of note, there's a couple of really good Russian drivers. I can't remember their names. Kili Smau, something like that. He was pretty good, probably the best of the rest. Hamda Al-Kabazi, she was pretty good. She had a couple of incidents. She's a very aggressive driver. Hopefully her season's not over. Hopefully all these drivers will get drives throughout the year. Moving on finally to Formula 3 Asia. Interesting series because a couple of Formula 2 drivers had moved down to it. It was a real mixed quality field. We had Guan Yu Zhou and Jehan de Ruvela, Roy Nissany and Alessio De Leda. All very different levels. Zhou and De Ruvela are quite good. Nissany has his moments but isn't great, and De Leda is awful. And it pretty much finished like that. Of the younger drivers who are moving up, Pierre-Louis Chauvert was great for the whole weekend until the last round when things didn't really go his way. He only lost the championship by I think 10-15 points. He's moving into Formula 3. He's going to be one to watch. The young Frenchman was really good. Isaac Hager as well. He only did half the championship, but he was always up there in his time. He looks like he could be a real talent. I think he only lost the Formula 4 French championship by, I think he finished 3rd behind 2 Japanese drivers. But again, I don't know if he's in Formula 3, but he's another Frenchman worth watching because he was really good. Everyone else in the field, there's no real standout. De Ruvela was a bit disappointing, to be honest. I expected him to be a little bit better. I think I said that when he was in Formula 3 as well, where I was expecting him to be a step up, but his game is missing something. I expect a little bit better from him. Hopefully, I think he's India's best ever race driver, and hopefully another season of Formula 2 will shape him into something fit for Formula 1, because I think he has the potential to get a Formula 1 seat. As does Guan Yu Zhou, for that matter. Probably in the next couple of years. Roy Nissany as well, I think, may eventually end up in Formula 1, which is quite scary when you really think about it. Alicia Deleda will never get near Formula 1. Of the young drivers, as I said, Chauvert, Haja, they kept going about Dino Begonovic, Dynamite Dino. Didn't really see much from him. I think he got a couple of podiums, but again, he only did half a season. David Velades, again, only did half a season, but he looked quite good. Patrick Pasma, if Patrick Pasma had started the season the way he finished it, he would have been champion, because he was excellent in the last couple of rounds. But he didn't have a great start to it. And there was a couple of Alcabazis in this one as well, because that family is racing. So yeah, that was pretty much all the action really. There wasn't a lot of real talking points, other than there's a few drivers who you can expect to move up or where they're going to be in the year, but there's not really much to say about it. I watched the Asian Le Mans series as well, which means I've seen far too many laps of the Dubai Autodrome and Yas Marina, because I've literally seen thousands of laps and I'm done with these racetracks, and I think only Yas Marina is going to show up in Formula 1, and we might go back to Dubai for something else, but I never want to see them again, frankly. They're not very interesting tracks to look at, and as I said, I've literally seen thousands of laps. So I'm done with these circuits. Other than that, I'm looking forward to the Formula 1 and Formula E and everything else kicking off within the next few weeks, 4 weeks at most, for most of it. It's going to be a weird year just because obviously coronavirus is still affecting things. Formula E is only starting now when it should have started like 2 months ago. But we can only hang on and see what happens and look forward to some very entertaining motorsport. And remember to subscribe, because I'll be doing content throughout the year. In fact, Formula E is starting next weekend, so I will be doing a couple of Formula E videos during the week. Make sure you come back for those. Thank you for watching, and have a good one.